Well, hello. How are you? Happy election week, right? I know for some of you, this is what you wanted, this is what you voted for, this is what you think is the best. And um, the question of why the idea of a Trump presidency, and that means including the people that will be included in that, why that scares me so much. I'm just going to do a few little updates here. I'm going to try to keep my dogs in. No, shoot, why not? Don't go out. We can go out. We can go outside. Go outside on the veranda. I'm trying to figure out how to say most of this without... Hold on, let me clean my lens, my screen just a second. I'm trying to figure out how to say the bulk of this without leaning too far into the gay topic, but that's a huge part of the resulting feelings. And yeah, I'm gonna smoke a cigarette while I'm doing this video, so don't like it, don't smoke with me. It's not the smell of it. Thank God. So I will be 60 years old in September of 2025. I had to do math. No, not really. So I mean, I'm 59 now. I have been out of the closet. I don't even, that phrase just doesn't really even mean too much to me. Hang on. Ta-da, like magic. So I've been out almost 50 years, half a century. I acknowledged who I was at 13 years old and didn't change a thing about myself. I have lived all of these years just being me. There's a helicopter flying overhead. It's already started. No, I'm kidding. And they are flying low. I'm sure you can hear that. When we fly high, they fly low. Okay, so in that, let's say 50 years, yeah, my first probably 10 years of that, I was pretty out there, pushing boundaries, not even necessarily intentionally, but pushing them nonetheless, just by being myself, being Kenny. And I noticed, we're talking a period of late 70s, like 78 through the late 80s. There wasn't the acceptance that there is today in general society, general culture in the United States and other places, in terms of just normalized acceptance. So doesn't matter, that's not where this is going. I met Ed when I was in my early 30s, and we've now been together 26 years. Just like any other couple, any other relationship, highs and lows. Been on a great high over the last while with this whole cancer thing. He's been singly the most supportive person that's helped me through this. And there have been rough times that I haven't put even the roughest stuff out there. I'm super open with who I am. Always have been. But as life went on, I just realized that, I can gain friends and have relationships with people without that being a focus of who I present at the first, especially. Several situations happened along the years where people didn't know right at first. Say I was going into a new job or a new situation, or if I was working in bars or clubs or whatever. I've only actually worked at 2 gay bars in my entire life. But as far as the other ones, they didn't necessarily even know right at first, and it would be several months before like the regulars or whatever would figure it out or get the knowledge, and then they were like, I don't care. I've actually had several people over the years tell me privately that I've changed their outlook on what gay people are in terms of what they think that life is like. I don't even use the word lifestyle anymore. It's not a lifestyle. It's not a choice. For those of y'all who still think it's a choice, pull your heads out of your asses. It is not a choice. Not a birth defect, so stop equating it to a birth defect. It's not. That's not even what this post is about either. This is about why I'm worried about the future and why so many people that we all know are worried about what is more than likely going to start happening this next year. When you're talking about deportation, number one, totally agree that people who don't need to be here, who are here illegally, come in illegally, that should be stopped. 100%, absolutely, because yes, that does drain our resources, which we are such a rich nation of resources. I'm so proud to be part of a country that has the resources to help people who are looking to escape the very thing that we're all worried about right now, violence. When the word bloody deportations was used, put that into perspective. Do you want to see families being rounded up? And you know there will be some resistance. We've got, for instance, Hispanic families do have large families simply by a matter of their religion and non-birth control methods. It's not our place to judge that. I get it. I totally get it. Are you willing to participate in rounding up families and putting them back in positions in countries where their actual physical being is very threatened? Separating those families off and separating children from their families. The idea of that alone is scary. Not to mention that, yeah, there'll probably be some who push back and resist, and you know what's going to happen to them. And it's not going to be pretty. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed. If you want to go back even further and entertain the idea of this law from 1785 being used, it gives the government the power to round up people by ethnicity. Doesn't specify which ethnicity. It just gives them the power to do that, and who they deem to be not worthy of being in this country. Doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, it gives them that power. So just go back and look at what happened in the Holocaust and how many people died in that, and the ramifications and the effects that that's had for as long as it has. I don't want to see that happening. Nobody should want to see that happening. In terms of immigration, yeah, we should welcome immigrants. Everybody, every single one of you, with the exception of American Indians, are an immigrant. At some point, your family was. Would you like to see them treated that way? Would you like to see them rounded up bloodily and removed from the country, or given the opportunity to become a citizen? Path to citizenship should be something that is easily done, and to become an American citizen and live here, come here and live what's called the American dream, which seems to be being erased right in front of our eyes. It scares me that my family, you know, Ed and I have we've created a beautiful home. It is our home. And I never thought in my life that there'd be a chance that we would actually be able to marry and have the same rights and benefits as a straight married couple, a normal married couple. So here's my point with all of this. For those of you that don't understand, you happen to live quote unquote normal straight lives, you have never once in your life had to worry that you could be taken away from your home, your families, and what you've established simply based on who you choose to love. Now, if they turn around and they abolish the ability for us to be married, and I don't know what that entails for people who have already been married, you know, it's not a piece of paper that has dictated our love for each other. No, other than the cards and notes that we've written to over the years. That license is what it is, and I'm proud to have been able to do that. There are certain aspects of my health that are covered under Ed's insurance because it was the most convenient way of doing that. But I've been on Ed's insurance since 2001 with the company that he worked for at the time was very inclusive with their employees, and they allowed same-sex domestic partnerships, which we had at the time. And the reason we got married in January of this year after my cancer diagnosis was because, again, the amount of time we've spent together. I've been around Ed more than anybody in my entire life. If I were to have died in surgery, which I didn't, I wanted the person that knows me the best making the decisions, not people that I see a couple of times a year or who have not even spent 30 minutes with me since all this happened. I'll let that lay where it is. So yeah, if you have, for the straight people, the straight couples, whatever, you've lived your entire life never even having to consider that being a worry, anything that you had to worry about of your life being disrupted and taken apart the way that this project talks about doing. It's nothing you've had to worry about. After the election, I went out and took out my Kamala Harris and Tim Walz sign, but I also took down my American flag, which I have proudly displayed on the front of my house as long as I can remember. I took it down, and that act alone had me really bothered. I can't even accurately describe what I felt removing that flag from where I had it and flying proudly in the front of my house. So I don't expect anybody to change anybody's mind with this, but when the question is, why are these people so upset? What's bothering you? What's hurting your feelings? Number one, try having some. If you don't, it can get you really far. But if you're asking yourself, why is anybody worried about what's going to happen or what could happen, educate yourself a little bit on what this Project 2025 entails. The information was out there long before the election. There's training videos out there for the people that want to put this into place. Not a one of them are anything that's really, truly beneficial to you or to me as an American. That is not what I grew up with. That's not what I've lived my life and struggled through more things than I even care to go into here. And there's not a day that goes by that I'm frankly not surprised, or frankly surprised that I'm still here. Because there's been a lot, and I have done that with the underlying promise that this was my home, this was my land, this was my country. And it's scary as hell to think that a government could come in and pull that all away from you. So not only do I live every day with the fears that have been put in me by this whole experience of this last year, health-wise, knowing that each day is kind of a gift, but now I get to add the stress of when does it start and what do we do? And that's the helplessness that so many people, including myself, are feeling. Please try to understand that. Anyway, I'm not going to post too many of these because it's too much to deal with, but wanted to explain that. Have a good day.